It's Sunday night, September 8, 2024, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show here on the radio, on your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube on Mondays. And it is a big announcement day, a big announcement episode that we have right here. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see as well a new setup over here for visuals to the left of your screen. This is episode 151, and yes, we are on Patreon, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later on in this segment. But first, let's introduce the members of the Ring Crew who are here right now. First of all, before I do that, follow Ringside Heat on all of our socials at Ringside_Heat, and you can see all of the icons on the bottom where we are at. And of course, you can follow us and subscribe to us on Patreon, because we will be doing lots of good stuff and goodies over there for all you. Follow me at LexTan Media. Follow the man to my right, to the right of my screen, at Tabata93, Jose Tabata, the director of digital content. What up, brother?
Hello. Yes, big weekend today. Obviously a brand new look. I was telling the guys that I've been desperate to get a new look for the last 151 episodes, and here we are finally. So I definitely slacked off on that, but I'm happy with the new look. I know my editing is going to be a little bit easier in a sense, because now all our socials are available there at all times instead of just flashing them in and out. So it was also more for me to kind of just stay a little bit more organized on the edits. But for now, yes, I'm thrilled about the new look. Obviously, Patreon is a big thing that we're going to discuss to open up our show. But yeah, enjoy it, and I'm ready to continue to push forward. But I am excited. It feels like a new start for us in a sense.
It definitely is. And just below Jose's screen is the responsible one, our AEW expert at Risen72. He's also a charity Twitch streamer. His name is Colin Dodge. Colin, how you doing?
Wow. What can I tell you? All out. What a thing that occurred. Will Ospreay and Pac, that had a result. And don't even get me started on Bryan Danielson and Krusty the Clown's worthless half-brother's son. It's what
a sideshow he is. Huh? What a sideshow.
Am I winking? Yeah. I'm the responsible one.
That's pretty good. That's good.
There you. And the other voice you just heard as well, too, which is to the left of Colin's screen, is our wrestling memorabilia collection expert and TNA/Impact Wrestling expert as well. At Chico,
when we remind him,
yes, at Coco Collects, Chico Newgate. Chico, what up?
Oh, feels good to be back in here, and with all of you advising me, who really is the expert?
We gotta work on that, man. Either way, big announcement here for all of you, from all of us here. And as I said, right to onto the left of your screen, there you go, is the announcement that
for our non-radio listeners.
Yes, for our non-radio listeners, that's right. Yes, but for our radio listeners, yes, we are on Patreon, and we have a giveaway on Twitter/X, whatever your nomenclature is. We should really start calling it X, because that's what it is at the moment. But there is always that transition in there, and Jose has that right now. So you know what? Jose, tell us all about what the lovely piece of memorabilia you have in your hand.
You can win a new Fiend Ultimate figure. This figure comes from the year 2023, and we're going to give it away to one lucky viewer on X/Twitter. Again, whatever you want to call it, yada, yada, yada. We wanted to start off our Patreon big, and I guess you should preface, it was a decision that kind of came quote unquote quickly as we were trying to look for ways to expand our content. But we'll get to that soon. But I was pitching that I think we should give away something just to kind of continue to be engaged with the community and to kind of expand our horizons a little bit and our outreach. So I put this up. So if you're on social media, go to our X page at Ringside_Heat. It's not the pinned post, but it's on our social media page. All you have to do is just tag somebody in the comments, follow us on X, and then just repost it or retweet it if you still call it a retweet. And that's it. You're done.
I do.
If you want some extra entries, if you want 2 extra entries, go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, and then subscribe to us on YouTube. Those are 2 separate entries. And of course, you just show the screenshots to show that that you did that. And that's it. We're going to be rolling the winner on October 10th, 2024 on a live stream. We're going to put all the entries on a wheel, because that's what I used to do on Twitter, just wheel spins. So it's not something that I'm not familiar with. We're gonna spin it for a minute. We're gonna see that wheel roll, and then whoever lands on after a minute wins this Fiend figure. I'll be shipping it out to whoever it is, wherever they are in the world. So that should be highly entertaining. But yes, very, very excited to get this going. And it's a great figure too. I mean, it's. I mean, we kind of went for what figure I think everybody would like. And we figured the Fiend is a really good one to spread the love for. So if get on X, follow us, do all the requirements, enter yourself for a free figure. These are not cheap.
Not at all. Not at all. Chico would know that. So Chico, have you seen that figure already?
Well, I have the previous version of it with more of the Fiend's original attire when he debuted, but this is nice because it's an updated Fiend figure, and it's under Mattel's Ultimate Edition line. So it has the most articulation you can get, I think, out of any action figure out there that's wrestling related. So it's definitely a good pick. People love Bray and paying tribute to Bray, and this is a good way to sort of add that to your wrestling fandom, is to put that figure on your mantle. Even for people who don't really have anything like this, it's a nice like singular piece to have. So yeah, great choice. Hope you guys support us on Patreon, and you have a chance to win that Mattel WWE Ultimate Edition Fiend figure.
And
the only detail I asked about is that it had to make sure it said hurt and heal on the gloves, and it does.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yes,
it's perfect. Yeah. It's the only detail I
interchangeable
asked
hands.
about, so,
Interchangeable hands too, right? Like
it's the interchangeable legs or arms. I think those are legs.
Alt hands too, I think. Like out of those arms, I think the
definitely
extra arms have the extra hands.
So definitely the jacket. We don't want to zoom in on me because now with the new overlay, we have to be mindful so it doesn't look weird. But yes, the hurt and heal gloves, the interchangeable face, the jacket. And I think those are arms now that I look at it.
Yep, alternate arms as well. Yep. So that's par for the course for a Fiend Ultimate Edition figure. So it's a really good one to have. Take it from the figure collector guy in the group. So support now. Win the Fiend.
And because this is with us being on Patreon and us wanting to up our content creation game for all of you, our listeners or viewers on the radio and on the podcast and also on YouTube, what are some of the things that we think that what are some of the things that we can tease a little bit here that our viewers and our listeners can be intrigued by and look forward to?
Honestly, it's more bonus content that we're going to be. It's basically what we've been doing now on our YouTube page. The bonus content every now and then. Like for example, like that video, like that time when John and I sat down after a Raw and we talked about if Rhea's the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. That kind of bonus content. So it's bonus content like that has maybe our takes or a specific hot take or maybe a video essay of a sort. That's going to be on Patreon. Pay-per-views and PLEs will not be part of Patreon. They will be continuing to be added for free because those are episodes that we would normally include on our show. So again, Colin and I will be recording the All Out, or already have recorded the All Out reaction, because that happened last night. So we wanted to leave that on the quote unquote free side, because again, it wouldn't make sense to kind of put something like that on something when that's something we would normally provide.
Wouldn't be fair. Yeah.
So again, even though I know we're gonna have some talks about some hot takes today, but if for some takes or some discussions that don't make it on there, most likely that will be Patreon exclusive. And then one of the other bigger things that I think that we are mainly excited for is to kind of like pick up our pencils and get the mind working again with writing. We wanted to do some more blog posts, whether that be features or columns that has like a take that one of us are passionate about. Colin has an idea. John texted me late last night. He has an idea as well that he wants to start writing up. So some basic articles like what were like our individual top 3 moments on Raw. Let's say Chico saw Raw and he has top 3 moments. He wants to quickly write that up. And then what did I think about Raw for top 3? Write that up. So there will still be a free section. That free section will mainly be simple, basic articles like about like our rankings, our favorites. But in-depth, more in-depth articles will be more likely towards the tier Patreon side. Only one tier to kick us off. The first echelon.
Thank you.
Been waiting for that.
Yeah, it's so we have the free tier. The free tier, if you want just to give us a follow and just see what we're doing, see what it's about to give us, and maybe consider us. And then of course the first echelon is local fan, which is just a $5 Canadian tier. So I think it's about $4 USD, and that is where the home of our exclusive content is going to be. Plus, also as well, you will now have a full day access to our video episodes the day before, an hour even before it goes to air on radio as well. So 6:00 Sundays now will be the home for the first glimpse of our weekly episodes before they go public on YouTube the next day at 7:00 Eastern, and of course before it goes live on Sauga 960 AM. So
before it goes on in audio only format on Spotify and your favorite podcatcher.
Exactly. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest keys. But yes, we were kind of we wanted to be a little bit extra motivated to kind of keep continuing to push out exclusive or just bonus content in general, because I know we all have a lot of ideas in our head. So hopefully this is the push for us. It's only the first year for now. We're going to see how this works, how comfortable we feel, because we know it can be a bit of a daunting task to ask, for your financial support there. It's never mandatory, it's never needed, but of course anything like that would obviously go a long way for us to help keep the lights on, to help maybe even run more giveaways down the road. So it's
get some more interviews on as well too, with your favorite wrestlers.
So it's a small step. But and then if we get more comfortable, or if more ideas start flowing, we may open up another tier. But for now, we got just the one echelon, and we're gonna see how it goes from there. I've been rambling on for a while.
With enthusiasm next time. Come on now. Echelon. It's a good word. It's a good word. There you go.
It is a very good word, and Will Ospreay knows it now.
Yes, exactly. We teach. We're here to teach people. Come on.
Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM on your favorite podcatcher and on YouTube, and now on Patreon. And this episode of Ringside Heat is brought to you by Outlier by John Dawson. With all that's going on in the world around us, we need a minute to remember what really matters to us, and the album Outlier by John Dawson will give that to you. Outlier is available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get your music. And if you're getting into the trend, and it's maybe not even a trend anymore, it is just part and parcel of our culture here in the 21st century, in the 2020s. It's on 180 gram vinyl, and you can pick that up at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com. We'll be back with more Ringside Heat after these promotional considerations.
Now I know that this conversation is more than a few years away. But it'll break. Rest assured, I will greet you when the morning.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube and on Patreon as well. Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media, host and producer of the show, here alongside Jose Taboada at Taboada93, the director of digital content. At Risen72, Colin Dodge, the AEW expert, and Chico Nugid at Coco Collects, the wrestling memorabilia collection expert, as well as our quote-unquote TNA expert, but he doubts that, even though we don't. Support us on the social media and support us on Patreon as well. And shout outs to first of all John Dawson, who is not here among us right now, but will be back on a future episode. It's just it is the first week of school, and like Heath Ledger, he's got kids, so he's got to go and take care of that. He's got kids to take care of at school, and he's got kids to take care of at home as well. So,
did you say Heath Ledger?
Sorry, Heath Ledger. Yeah.
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater. There you go. Okay, Heath. That's right. Wow.
This guy, Ledger. What a joker.
Why in the world? How in the world did I think of Heath Ledger?
Oh,
it's easy, man. Not a lot of Heaths.
Yeah.
I've done that exact mix-up so many times. So you're good, man.
Heath Slater, Heath Ledger, AC Slater, Saved by the Bell.
I'm so happy that the three of us were kind of like, just letting Lex go on to come Keo's back from breaking. All of us kind of looked up. We're like, excuse me.
Wait a minute.
All of us at the same time just kind of gave each other. All of us gave each other the look, the eyes that said, he went there, right? Okay, let's get ready. Get ready.
Can we just have Heath Ledger on the brain, or did he say it? No.
All right,
I mean, Ready Rose was a good. It was a good tension breaker, you know. I mean, why so serious?
Wow. God rest he went there.
And here's the thing: maybe I'm feeling that way. Maybe my mind is a little bit weird right now because I'm still reeling over the fact that I met one of one of the greatest names in professional wrestling over the past 40 years, and probably more than that. Over at the CNE, I was able to get there on Labor Day, and I spent the afternoon there just before I was able to meet up with Chico and his cousin RV, friend of the show, and Jonelle, who is a friend of the show as well. He's been on our show just a couple of years ago when we attended Impact Wrestling in London, Ontario. One of the greatest names in professional wrestling, Jerry the King Lawler, was in Toronto, and he was brought there by Mike Clark, the promoter of Classic Championship Wrestling, CCW, who continued the tradition of putting on free wrestling shows over at the CNE every single year. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, that I was originally, that I remember the first free wrestling show that I got to at the CNE was actually from Apocalypse Wrestling Federation, and it was actually they actually had it indoors at the Better Living Center. This was an outdoor show. All shows were outdoors apparently for CCW, and rain or shine, 3 shows a day. It was all there, and honestly, the Ontario, the Canadian wrestling crowds not just support the WWE and AEW, but they came out in droves to watch really great professional wrestling with friends of the show like Clash Kincaid and AC Fitz, Ty Collins, and of course and referee Daniel Dart was was one of the MVPs.
Daniel.
Yeah. Okay. And just a whole bunch of great people there, including Corey Graves' brother, Sam Adonis, who was also there. Got a chance to meet him as well. But first, I'll talk about Jerry the King Lawler. Haven't shared it on our Instagram or our social media yet because of our little conversation. But at first, when I went up to Jerry, and I put my money down so I could get my photo op and my autograph from the King. I asked about the parameters of it all. It's like, so is this a photo opportunity? How is it if I were to do a video? What would it be? What would it be thing? And what would it be the rules around it? And Jerry said himself, "I'm sorry because of the whole my health situation. My voice isn't what it used to be, and I'm I'm very conscious about the state of my voice right now. So I'm just like, that's cool, man. No worries. Oh, yeah. I'm just glad to be able to sit and talk with you. I'm just glad to be able to tell you that you are one of the heroes in my broadcasting career, and because of what you did all those years ago when I was growing up in the wrestling fandom and listening to you and what you were doing and seeing how you've progressed and grown and how you've made this business bigger by just being there and the work that you've done. I am now, in the broadcasting industry. I am now doing wrestling shows as play-by-play. I'm doing a wrestling radio show here in the Greater Toronto area, and you're one of the people that inspired me throughout my life, that brought me to this point. And you can see, I told them that you've done it, like you probably heard stuff like this a million upon millions of times from fans out there, but this is from me. And and so you can see in his eyes, that he was that he was genuinely happy to hear my story. And he was like, and after we took the picture, he signed the autograph, and he was like, "Hey man, give me your phone." Give me your phone. So we put the phone up, press record, and he told him, and he's like, "This is Lex. He is my hero. He is this. He's a fan, but he's also my hero, and I'm glad to be sitting here and talking with him today." And honestly, that's like full circle kind of thing. It really it warms my heart, man. Warms my heart. Jerry the King Lawler was so gracious with his time, and I can't thank and I couldn't thank the King enough. Not just for that particular video, but just for the influence that he's had on my life as a wrestling fan and as a wrestling, I guess, semi-professional.
Wow, that's really, really thoughtful of King to do that.
That's amazing, yeah.
Damn, and here I was roasting you because somehow you got the he didn't tell us the story, which again I wish you let off with that first, because the first thing that Lex showed us instead was King putting his crown on Lex. So the floodgates were open for the roast, and we all asked why. But now that makes a lot of sense.
Also, Lex's head was severely sweaty, so
it was concerning. Yes,
gross.
It was concerning.
I would put my crown on anyone's head like that.
I had walked from the Princess Gates all the way to the east end of BMO Field at that point, and I didn't want to
get a towel, huh? No, towels don't exist in your vocabulary, huh? They don't.
Never forget your towel. Come on.
Y'all sound like my parents now.
Look.
Your checker's good.
Well. That's real. Look, at the end of the day, that is really heartwarming to hear, and I mean, it's. I think, obviously, King has been through a lot in the last year alone, and he's obviously he's the definition of a fighter when it comes to his health. It is unbelievable, what that man has been through. So I'm sure that I feel like he's also maybe in that part of his life where he's kind of like realizing, maybe he has already. I don't want to speak on him, but it's like, damn, maybe I really have inspired these people, and it is heartwarming to hear. Like I think I said this. I think I was saying this last week or a couple weeks ago, that like it's to hear that somebody's supporting you, it goes such a long way, right? Or that you inspired somebody, it really does hit the feels. So I can't imagine having Lex saying that to King, what it must have felt for King, and then to crown him, which we all thought it was a mistake. But that's really sweet. That's really, really generous. Yeah, that's really cool. That's a cool story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so King, if you are listening to this, if you do get a chance to listen to this somehow, hopefully we'll see each other over in New York for the big event, which that's an announcement. That's one thing, but I'll elaborate on it closer to the day. But just a quick little thing. I will be. I was invited by Jersey Jim from Full Press Wrestling, Full Press Sports, and Full Press Hockey. To conduct some interviews with some of the wrestlers and celebrities who are going to be at the big event in New York on Manhattan Island, and which is going to be cool because it's got a lot of big names over there. Paul Heyman's going to be there. Paul White's going to be there. The Dudleys, the Hardys, and someone who I really do hope that I'll be able to run into and actually talk to. Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, is going to be there. So,
ooh.
Speaking of relations with the King, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yep. That's right. Elaborate on that, Chico, for our listeners who may not know.
Well, around 1994, William Shatner was brought in, I think, in the middle of the Bret Hart Jerry Lawler feud.
Yes.
And they just kind of played off of each other. I don't know if he was also involved in anything with Roddy Piper. Now I'm like kind of mixing things up, I think, but for sure he interacted with the King a lot, and the two of them just played off each other so well. They both have good comedy instincts, and so they work really well together. So glad to see that you're going to have a chance possibly to meet the OG Captain Kirk himself, who knows, or other people that you just mentioned. That's like a litany of personalities. So hopefully you get to meet
a lot of fandom crossover. And,
yeah. It's also a very costly list of celebrities to meet. So good luck with that. Even if you're in the same event as them, they will each charge you for each meet and greet. So,
I'm going to be part of the staff over. I'm going to be part of the team over there, and so I'm supposed to, and I'm going to be conducting interviews on like not just on behalf of Ringside Heat, but also on behalf of the event as well. So.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So I mean, like, part of the team. Jim's part of the team at the big event as well.
Seems like it. Don't quote me on that, but it seems like it because he is. He does seem like he's part of the team as far as interactions go. So
yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I hope you do a whole lot there, and people can tune into a lot of the stuff that you film or record, by supporting us on Patreon. So get on Patreon and support us. Have a chance to win that Mattel Ultimate Edition Fiend figure, among other things, and get some exclusive off of the big event from Lex's journey there and back.
Mm-hmm. Good transition.
Yeah. That's very, very nice. Lots of stuff coming for us here on Ringside Heat, and can't be more blessed right now to be doing what we're doing over here, and we will be more blessed as we go along, but that was my experience at the CNE. Sam Adonis from Corey Graves' brother, they look very much like each other, and he's a very warm person as well. I mean, like, he's very fit. He's a great performer as well. He connects with the crowd. That crowd over there on the final on the final show of CCW, on that entire like 50 some odd show run at the CNE, and he was there for most of it. He even conducted a wrestling workshop. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend that over in Oshawa with our wrestling friends over there. So it's great that Sam is really taking the time to really grow the wrestling community and the independent wrestling community here within Ontario and anywhere else he goes. So good on Sam Adonis, and good on CCW. Thank you to Mike Clark as well too for allowing me to hang out backstage over a gorilla position as well. So it's a great time for wrestling here in Toronto this past week and the past couple of weeks.
Excellent.
Yeah. Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to just mishmash it up, and let's see what we got over here. Reporting that there's reports out there that WWE might bring back a beloved brand as well, in terms of their historical brands as well, which I'd love to talk about.
Velocity.
What a tease. I like that tease. We'll find out soon, I guess.
Yes, we will. And more from Jose, from Chico, from Colin, myself, after these promotional considerations.
When the daylight's done, with me here, you're not so all alone. With me here, you're not so. Rest assured, I will greet you.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. My name is Lex Tan. Follow me at Lex Tan Media. Follow the show and all follow the show on all of its social media as well as Patreon at ringside_heat. That's
Patreon, you say?
And Patreon as well too.
There we go.
There
Come
you
on,
go.
Patreon.
Exactly. That is something that we will have to quickly get used to. So right around me right now, Jose at Tablada 93, Colin at Risen 72, and Chico at Coco Collects. And during the break, actually on the radio, Colin and we just need Colin, our movie expert,
Yes.
because he knows movies and he knows more movies than us. So
You need to know what to watch at, Risen 72. I will tell you. It's amazing what some of these individuals around me have not seen, but I'll set you straight on what movies you need to watch. Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure we've all seen clips of Ready to Rumble. Anyway.
No, I watched Suburban Commando. That's wrestling related.
Oh my goodness.
I remember
what? Never
Suburban
heard any of
Commando
those.
starring Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan, man.
No, starring The Undertaker. The only reason to watch
No,
it.
come on.
For the 5 seconds he's in there.
Yeah,
Jesse Ventura in that one too? No, that was
I have no idea.
I just remember that line where Hogan goes where Hogan is in this altercation with these with these rough looking dudes, and then he's like, it's like, you know what we're gonna do, and Hogan responds, oh, you're gonna pound my face in. What are you talking about? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
That's right. I lied. That's a great line. Great line.
No,
And
blocked it out completely. This is not what I wanted. Change the topic.
Movies, man.
Well, you know what though? I mean, we're talking about movies from back then, and brands. I didn't mention that that there are reports that WWE may bring back a certain show brand in the near future, and that show brand could be Saturday night's main event.
I thought it was confirmed.
Oh, sorry.
I thought it was confirmed.
I haven't heard much.
There were reports that it's happening in December. They're going to brand it as Saturday night's main event. Now, I guess me wording it like that kind of means that it's maybe not official, but I think this is happening, which is really cool because I love that WWE keeps finding ways to bring that back at some capacity, even if it's for a one-off. It's not the first time they do something like this, especially with NBC. So somehow that's exciting.
They'll never
weird.
top Collision. It's not going to work. It's not going to work at all.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
but
Collision, of course,
TBS
is a current brand. Collision is a brand that's on
TSN.
so much it's no longer special.
Oh, geez.
What are we?
No, sometimes it's a good show, man. Great matches, AEW, whatever. But I mean, Saturday night's main event, very well-known brand that really, I think that's one of the big ones that propelled pro wrestling into many households. So this
absolutely.
Easily.
It's a good decision, and it's also a good decision not to do it all the time. Because I mean, if something's special all the time, then it's not special, or whatever that saying is, So
The Incredibles, a very good movie to watch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Okay.
What?
What?
The line from The Incredibles. What? Oh my
It's
goodness.
been years, man. This is a weird episode.
Yeah.
I don't know what today's episode is, folks. I am so sorry.
I'm not the one who's out of touch when I have to explain references.
I'm trying to
Everybody
get
else that's out of touch.
I am so sorry that your first Patreon exclusive free advanced screening is this episode. I am so terribly sorry. What are we doing here? What is happening today?
For the culture.
I am
All right,
what
so
culture?
what are we talking about there, Mr. Tan? What do you want to steer into?
Well, the fact that the fact that, again, as Jose was saying, it's great that they keep bringing back Saturday night's main event, and I mean there are a lot of fun things that happen. I mean, I remember you and I, Chico, attending Saturday night's main event, the one that was here in Toronto, which
there's an arm wrestling match.
Yes, that's right. The arm wrestling match between with
Lashley?
I think it was Lashley and Hulk Hogan. I think, but then according to the official matches,
Hogan won.
Lashley and
so not
somebody
Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon. That's it. I remember Vince McMahon was was probably part of it.
Was that leading into WrestleMania 23?
Let's see. May 28, 2007 aired June 2, 2007. So leading out of
that's after WrestleMania 23. I am way off.
Much after. Yeah. But I think was Vince like the ECW champion or something? And was he gearing up to face Bobby? Now I'm just like mixing up 07 stories, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So these were the 5 matches that were on Saturday Night's main event. It was the Great Khali defeating John Cena.
Jesus.
There you go.
What? No.
I know.
Did he do the head crushing thing? Is that what he did?
I guess so. Yeah.
Sometimes
the chop on the head.
Depends what he was told that day.
Bobby Lashley versus Mark Henry in an arm wrestling contest, which ended in a no contest shenanigans. And then let's see. Batista and He Who Shall Not Be Named defeating Edge and MVP in a tag match.
That's right.
Finlay and Hornswoggle defeating the Boogeyman and Little Boogeyman. and Kane Doink the Clown and Eugene versus defeating Kevin Thorne, Viscera, and Umaga.
Oh my goodness! What a
Kevin
collection
Thorne.
of names.
When's the last time somebody said Kevin?
Those
Thorne?
are names.
Yeah,
those
names. Weren't. Yeah.
Those are things that happened.
Yeah, those are things that happened that night in Toronto for whatever reason, and that's all they have over here. I probably could look up more details about it, but I want to talk about another brand that is that WWE has active right now, and. A send off for a network that has been broadcasting them for the past few years, which is SmackDown. There's the final SmackDown on Fox. Let's take it over to Jose to elaborate on that.
Yes. So this past Friday night on SmackDown, WWE said goodbye to Fox, which. The reason why I propose this as a topic for us to discuss is because I do not remember the last time WWE has gone this in depth about a network change. They completely dove into the so long, farewell, Ajviden say adieu. Like they really just they
sorry to our German audience.
I know, I'm sorry. They honed into it. They had like they talked about when it all went down, 2019. It was a 5-year contract. Michael Cole spoke about where he was in 2018, which was I think in a driving to the airport in San Antonio when he heard that Fox got SmackDown for 5 years on that $1 billion deal. It was something. It was insane. Yes. It was a big deal at the time. Yeah. To do a full video package and to continue referencing that it's the last day on Fox and being so grateful about it, that I think that if we haven't shown that WWE is in a new era, this is another example for it. Because I really don't remember the last time that happened. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were saying that back in the day, when Spike TV wrapped up Raw and they were going back to the USA Network, apparently Spike TV Spike TV was so bitter about the move that they kept censoring live USA Network that the commentators, JR and King, presumably would have been, started to work around it by spacing out USA and Network in sentences to avoid the censor, which is insane. I know.
That's crazy.
I wish I remember who told me that because I was amazed when I heard that. And I'm like, huh? So there's I think that was really special. I think to see again. I'm amazed that there's such fanfare to sign off, and I know it includes the Thunderdome, and it included a proper highlight package of what SmackDown entailed, like the biggest moments on SmackDown on Fox over the last 5 years. You know, from The Rock on the first episode to the Bloodline becoming the faction of the new era. To Jay's betrayal, to Paul Heyman's table spot, to the Thunderdome, and you know all that work there. You know, obviously Fox would have loved to have fans in the middle of all that, but you know the pandemic happened, so obviously that's such a damper. I know that both sides lost, you could say, a lot of money just doing everything in the Thunderdome, but it was it's insane that I think they gave them that farewell. So I guess kudos and thanks to Fox. Do I want to say that?
Well, I mean, there was also WWE backstage. Like Fox really like threw in and supported stuff. I mean, they did. Yeah. They threw on their what is it? Their CG like robot thing. You know, so much was put in by Fox that like USA wanted that digital robot on Raw too, so they made one of their own there. So I mean, just Fox just invested in it, and they would promote them on their football shows. They would do a lot of promotion. So they, it was a good mutual symbiotic relationship, for this very important 5 years. It was a very important key time of navigation for WWE and growth, really, especially in the last 3 years, like since the pandemic. I think it's been including the pandemic, like, Fox really, provided a home for WWE and its universe. So, I mean, it's been a good 5-year run. Things change with network television and other things. So yeah, that's cool that they gave them a send off, or whatever you want to call it, like, a thank you to each other, really. Because I saw the social media too. WWE on Fox's account did a big thank you post to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And similar to that, it reminded me, I guess, of back in 1993, little kid with the whole when the Blue Jays won the World Series, and found some footage of that back on YouTube. CBS, that was the final year that they had the World Series as part of their broadcast package, and they did a little thank you. They did a thank you after Joe Carter hit his home run, and they showed footage of the locker room, of the dressing room over there at the Dome, and it's and it must have been an emotional time for the people at CBS, because I can't remember who was the guy that closed out the show. Glasses, mustache dude. He said, but he mentioned something about, we were so honored to be the caretaker of this national pastime that has grown from America to Canada, and arguably was the broadcaster of the greatest home run that has ever been hit in Major League Baseball. And in that same vein, Fox was the caretaker of WWE SmackDown, which saw, as you guys were mentioning, the growth of the WWE and the growth of the Bloodline and the growth of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and really the comeback of wrestling in that sort of way, alongside USA Network. And one thing I also kind of really liked about what you about this partnership with WWE and USA and Fox was that draft that they did, where USA, they had a USA war room. And they had a Fox war room as well, and so I found that to be to be a nice, a very interesting kind of nod to the way drafts work in, I guess, competitive sport, if you want to put it that way. And there are a lot of really good things that have come out of this that seem to have come out of this partnership with the WWE and Fox, and hopefully those things will continue on when they eventually all move over to Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this new USA deal is, and I'm sure USA is kind of jumping for joy that this move is happening, because WWE, again, it's obvious that WWE is back on the rise again, like it was in the early 2000s, late 90s. So I can also imagine that Fox is going, damn. I know there were reports of maybe a bit of a quote unquote rocky relationship, or there wasn't what they expected. I think at times, I know the pandemic obviously has such a big hit on that, but now that WWE is growing again, I can only imagine Fox saying, I think this is what we wanted for 5 years, and USA is kind of getting luckier. And then of course Netflix is Netflix, and whether they do the full switch or not to Netflix, we'll see. But I know USA has such a strong relationship with WWE anyways. They've gone back and forth. I think that it wasn't at the network they debuted Raw on in the first place.
That's right. Yep.
So
yeah.
It's hard for me to envision a full Netflix switch when USA is still so good to them and still keeps bringing them back. They're on and off, right? So I don't know. I wonder if
pretty sure the USA thing is a limited thing, and I think the intent is to move everything to Netflix at some point, at least for the international audience. I don't know about the domestic USA audience. There's already reports out there of where this is all headed. I think they've even announced it themselves at some point. So I don't know it like the back of my hand, but I know that everything ends up on Netflix at some point. For at least international audiences, maybe not completely US. I don't know.
Well, right now it's for Canada. We just got. Actually, we just looked. I had a conversation with my friends the other day. It's just Netflix. I believe right now it's just Netflix. What am I saying? It's just Raw. It's just Raw, and of course the pay-per-views. I don't see. I don't see anything else again for now. Obviously, we get the entire network library as well, but. Because I know actually I'm gonna quickly look this up if you talk to someone yourself, because I literally just discussed this the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing
hosting the network, right?
Say that again.
NBC is still hosting the network, right?
Peacock
Is that still
has the network in the States, but we're gonna get the entire library that we've had on WWEnetwork.com onto Netflix, which
that's for Canada.
Beautiful.
I think that's great. Beautiful. That's great. Yeah.
I'm actually going. That's actually going to make me sign up for Netflix, to tell you the truth.
There you go.
Well,
and it's already
paying
dividends.
I already had Netflix, and my dad watches it nonstop, so I feel like I can finally use my own Netflix. It's gonna be great.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's still too expensive.
Wow, Netflix plug suddenly.
No, it's still too expensive.
You know, as Jose is looking that up, we do have just a few minutes left here, but looking up actually a little bit more detail about the Saturday night's main event here in Toronto, that arm wrestling match that was between Bobby Lashley and Mark Henry. It was originally supposed to be between Bobby Lashley and Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon balked on it, and he brought in Mark Henry instead, and then, shenanigans. So anyway.
What?
Yeah. So
I'm surprised.
Yeah, and people were still shouting "You screwed Brett" at that time. I mean, it was only 10 years since, but it was "You screwed Brett" was still quite a thing, but not as strong as I thought it was going to be back then.
So apparently, it is SmackDown as well on Netflix in 2025.
Yep.
Wow!
Yay.
Wow! I didn't realize
USA's a holdover for the next few months. They were looking for a way to transition so that SmackDown could have a home after the Fox deal for a few months.
Hold on, you didn't let me finish.
Right?
In Canada.
Okay.
Canada. It was Canada. That's where I was surprised at, which means that Sportsnet, which has been the provider for all WWE content for God knows the longest time, it looks like they're wrapping up as well in December.
No way.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. Unless it's completely wrong.
Well, but leave the memories alone.
What the?
Now is Sportsnet going to get a nice little farewell?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. They're saying here beginning in.
I'm sorry, they're not going to get it.
Beginning in January 2025.
I was going to say it, Chico.
Netflix will be the exclusive new home of Raw in the United States, Canada, UK, and Latin America, among other territories, with additional countries to be added over time.
Well, Netflix is great for that.
Likewise, as part of the agreement, Netflix will also become the home for all WWE shows and specials outside the US available, inclusive of Raw and WWE's other weekly shows, SmackDown, and NXT, as well as the company's premium live events, including WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble. Wow.
Damn.
Netflix prices are going to go up. They're going to go up. I can look.
I'll never subscribe again.
I'm going
to.
Oh boy.
I'm a cable cutter. I'm so cheap when it comes
to go deeper into that. Subscribe to our Patreon so that you'll find out why Colin. I'm
going to get flack for this, and I'm going to knock on every piece of wood. And if you all have like a piece of wood around you, please knock on it as well.
Yep.
I will not be surprised if WWE adds a WWE tier price on Netflix for all their content.
They are that big. They have that much.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, they probably will.
That is what I'm worried about, because if it's all included for the price that we pay now, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
What a deal. But no, it's and I'm gonna pay for it because I'm a fan and a consumerist.
And I will too. And I will too. And speaking of tiers, you can join our first tier on Patreon. Support us. Become a what is it? What's our first echelon called again? Local fan.
Local
Become
fan.
a local fan of Ringside Heat on Patreon and subscribe to us and ring those notification bells for all of our social media at Ringside_Heat. We've run out of time here on the radio, but thank you to Jose, thank you to Colin, thank you to Chico, and thank you to all of you for tuning in on the radio, on podcast form, and on YouTube as well on Patreon. This episode was brought to you by John Dawson's Outlier. Get it on wherever you stream your music, wherever you buy your music, as well as on the 180-gram version. John Dawson music.myshopify.com. And thank you so much for listening to our 151st episode of Ringside Heat. This was Ringside Heat, and we remember the things that you probably forgot.